Councilmember Powers to the Captain America chair. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please place all electronic devices to vibrate. Quiet on the floor, please. Quiet on the floor, please. Mr. Majority Leader.
Before we start, I just want to congratulate our chief economist, Ray Majeski. This is going to be his last budget. He's retiring. Well, not really, but he's retiring from the council. So we made him a proclamation to honor his dedication to this council. Come up, Ray. What's your 23rd budget? 23rd budget. This will be Ray's 23rd budget. Take a pic. You want to say something?
No. Well, yes, I will. Okay. Look, it's been an honor. So like I can say, it's just been wonderful working with the council members over the years, with the really, really great staff at finance, and to the economists at revenue and economics, man. You guys are mine. You guys are mine. So thank you all.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Ray. I'm going to read a little bit from the proc. Ray was born in Brooklyn, New York, of course, the best borough. He earned a PhD in economics at the New School for Social Research. Following the completion of his doctoral studies, he embarked on an academic career teaching economics at several esteemed universities, including Monmouth Seton Hall and his alma mater, the New School. Transitioning from academia to public service, Ray joined the staff of the New York City Council 23 years ago, November 6, 2000. By January 2002, he had earned the distinction of becoming the council's first chief economist. We didn't have a chief economist before we had Ray, a role that has since evolved to also include the title of deputy director. During his tenure, Ray's contributions to the city council have been profound. He's played a critical role in the formation of 23 budgets, providing invaluable expertise in economic and tax forecasting. Ray has truly distinguished himself in his commitment to economics and to the city of New York, and upon his departure, we wish you the best, Ray. God bless. Thank you so much.
It's a tough one, Ray. We're so happy for you. The love that you have bestowed on this institution during 23 budgets is unimaginable, incomparable. And for that, this council will always be indebted to you for your genius. In economics, I've never seen anything like the genius of Ray Majewski. Ray, we're gonna miss you. And I don't think we're going to find anybody to take your place, but we know that you have trained up incredible individuals that will follow in your legacy in greatness that will sustain this institution, just like you have for generations to come. Thank you so much, Ray.
Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you, Speaker. It's been a pleasure.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait, Carl. Just waiting. Okay. Good afternoon and welcome to the recess stated meeting of June 22nd, 2023, being held on June 30th, 2023. I am Majority Leader Keith Powers. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us here today. If you'd like to follow along, the agenda for today's meeting is posted on the website. We are going to take a roll call for this recessed stated meeting now. Roll call.
Abreu.
Present.
Ariola. Aviles.
Presente.
Ayala.
Present.
Barron.
Here.
Botcher. Brannan.
Here.
Brewer.
Here.
Brooks Powers.
Present.
Caban.
Present.
Carr. De La Rosa.
Here.
Dinowitz.
Here.
Farias.
Present.
Feliz.
Presente.
Gennaro.
Here.
Gutierrez.
Presente.
Hanif.
Here.
Hanks.
Present.
Holden. Hudson.
Present.
Joseph.
Present.
Kagan.
Present.
Krishnan.
Here.
Lee.
Here.
Lewis.
Present.
Marte.
Here.
Mealy.
Present.
Thank you. Menon.
Here.
Moya. Narcisse.
Present.
Nurse.
Here.
Osei.
Present.
Palladino. Wrestler. Richardson Jordan.
Here.
Riley. Rivera.
Here.
Salamanca.
Present.
Sanchez.
Present.
Schulman.
Here.
Stevens.
Here.
Ung.
Present.
Velasquez. Vernikoff.
Here.
Williams.
Present.
Juan.
Here.
Yeager.
Here.
Borelli.
Matrix. John.
Powers.
Here.
Moya.
Present.
Speaker Adams.
Present.
Thank you. With that, the recess dated meeting of June 22nd, 2023 is hereby adjourned. We will now convene the stated meeting of June 30th, 2023.
Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you. We will once again call a roll call.
Abreu.
Present.
Ariola. Aviles.
Presente.
Ayala.
Present.
Barron.
Present.
Botcher. Brannan.
Here.
Brewer.
Here.
Brooks Powers. Caban.
Present.
Carr. Della Rosa.
Here.
Dinowitz.
Here.
Farias.
Still present.
Felice.
Presente.
Gennaro.
Here.
Gutierrez.
Presente.
Hanif.
Here.
Hanks.
Present.
Holden. Hudson.
Present.
Joseph.
Present.
Kagan. Thank you.
Present.
Get it.
Thank you, Councilmember. Krishnan.
Here.
Lee.
Here.
Lewis.
Present.
Marte.
Present.
Mealy.
Present.
Menon.
Present.
Moya.
Present.
Narcisse.
Present.
Nurse.
Here.
Osei.
Present.
Palladino. Wrestler.
Present.
Richardson Jordan.
Here.
Riley. Rivera.
Present.
Salamanca.
Present.
Sanchez.
Still present.
Schulman.
Still here.
Stevens.
Here.
Riley.
Present.
Ung.
Present.
Velasquez.
Present.
Vernikoff.
Here.
Williams.
Here.
Juan.
Present.
Yeager.
Here.
Borelli. Powers.
Present.
Speaker Adams.
Present.
Thank you. We'll now have today's invocation, which will be delivered by Sensei Koshin Paley Ellison of the New York Zen Center for Contemplative Care, located at 119 West 23rd Street in Manhattan.
So let's all just take a moment to appreciate this important day by remembering that we are human and breathe. So I invite you to put both of your hands on your belly, and let's just take one long inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. It is rare to remember to be compassionate when we're uncomfortable. It is rare to be compassionate when we're feeling awkward and hurt. Today is a day where decisions are made that will both be helpful and hurt. And who we are is really forged in these moments where things are uncomfortable. And we can understand actually what compassion means. Can we actually bring forth to realize that we're all doing what we can do, and to treat each other with dignity and respect across difference, because there is difference and there is oneness, that we all are actually literally breathing the same air right now, and we're all different. So to me, I'm just so honored to be here and appreciate that we have this opportunity to be in this discomfort and learn how to be courageous and compassionate in the discomfort, to be able to feel sorry and participate. And so how do we extend out, remembering our breath and remembering to look into each other's eyes with some kindness, with some compassion, in particular with the people that you disagree with. And this is how we create a more compassionate and courageous world in these moments that are hard. This is when we really see who we are. Thank you so much, and may your lives go well.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm now going to call on Councilmember Eric Botchard to spread the invocation on the record.
Thank you so much. That's exactly the kind of invocation that I wanted to hear today, and that I wanted to hear together with all of you today. I really want to thank Sensei Koshin Paley Ellison for delivering today's invitation. He's an author, a Zen teacher, a Jungian psychotherapist, and he co-founded the New York Zen Center for Contemplative Care right in Chelsea, which offers education, personal caregiving, and Zen practice. I thank you greatly for your words today.
Councilmember Botchard would like to make a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to spread the invocation in full.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for being here today. We'll now move into the adoption of the minutes.
None.
Messages and papers from the mayor.
M163 through M166, mayor's vetoes and disapproval messages.
General welfare.
M170, city debt and reserves.
Received, ordered, printed, and filed.
Communication from city, county, and borough offices.
Pre-considered M's 167 and 168, budget modifications.
Finance.
Petitions and communications.
None.
Land use call-ups.
None.
Thank you. We will now have communication from Speaker Adrienne Adams.
Thank you very much, Mr. Majority Leader, and good afternoon, everyone. Oh, okay.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. Before we begin, I'm going to acknowledge someone who is very special that is here with us today. Someone that was elected in 1999 and served through 2005 as the Manhattan Borough President. Colleagues, let's give a warm welcome to C. Virginia Fields. Before we begin, I'd like to address yesterday's Supreme Court decision to strike down affirmative action in our institutions of higher education. For decades, affirmative action has empowered educational institutions to address a long legacy of systemic inequities that have prevented Black people and people of color more broadly from accessing equitable opportunities. This decision is a loss for civil rights and the long-standing struggle for justice and equality, but certainly is another example of an intentional and long-term campaign to roll back civil rights, realizing success at the Supreme Court. It will undermine racial diversity and inclusivity in the classrooms of our institutions of higher education, which benefit all students. Despite the implications made by conservative members of the court, racial inequities persist and permeate our society in deeply rooted ways. It's critical for us as a city and country to advance policies that ensure that everyone, especially those from traditionally marginalized and underserved communities, have equitable access to opportunity. And today, on the last day of Pride Month, this Supreme Court issued a ruling that undermines equal protections for LGBTQIA+ individuals. It is a terrifying setback in progress and protections for the LGBTQIA+ community, who continue to experience existential and physical attacks on their identity, safety, and well-being. This decision effectively grants businesses the right to discriminate. It is an alarming trend and a continuation of the rollback of our collective rights put in motion by far-right extremists on the Supreme Court. We firmly denounce the Supreme Court's decision today and will continue the work of the Council to safeguard and expand rights for all LGBTQIA+ New Yorkers. Today, we're voting on several items related to the adoption of the city budget for fiscal year 2024. And I want to start by thanking our Finance Chair, Councilmember Justin Brannan, and our collective leadership team, Deputy Speaker Diana Ayala, Majority Leader Keith Powers, Majority Whip Selvina Brooks Powers, Council Member Gail Brewer, and Council Member Rafael Salamanca. Thank you for your hard work throughout this budget process. I also want to thank all of the members of the budget negotiating team for your dedication in this process as well. I also want to extend our deepest gratitude to the entire Finance Division, led by my Deputy Chief of Staff and Chief Financial Officer, Tanisha Edwards, and the Director of the Finance Division, Richard Lee. None of the progress we have made on this budget would have been possible without you and your long days and nights of work, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. We're also thankful for the work of our Legislative Documents Unit led by Jonathan Etrix. And we, of course, always thank our legislative staff led by Jeff Baker and Andrea Vasquez. And now, I want to take a moment to recognize, once again, someone who has been critical to the Council's operations for over 2 decades. For 23 years, Ray Majewski, the Council's chief economist, has exemplified the best in public service. His precise economic forecasts have allowed the Council to maintain financial stability during periods of economic uncertainty. Ray has played a tremendous role in formulating and shaping the last 23 budgets in the city of New York. Ray's work has improved the lives of millions of his fellow New Yorkers and has made it possible for so many to build their lives in our city. His legacy will live on for generations and generations to come as someone who has brought heart, wisdom, and insight every day to his profession to strengthen our communities. Dr. Majewski, Ray, we thank you immensely for your service to our city, and we wish you much success and happiness in your most deserved retirement, my friend. Today, we are voting on several items related to the adoption of the city budget for fiscal year 2024. The council's focus in this budget has been to protect the essential services that the people of this city rely on. As the first women majority and the Men Who Get It Council in our city's history, we have a responsibility to shift the deeply ingrained dynamics of our city that have historically left women and communities of color behind. The inequities that undermine our communities and city must be addressed, and resolving them was the focus of our budget vision and priorities. Since the start of this process, the council held a distinct vision for the budget, even as we understood approaching challenges. There are budget gaps in our out years that we must confront. Yet, as I said yesterday, how we approach these challenges matters to New Yorkers. As a result of the proposed budgets presented to us that contain cuts in just about every area that only grew deeper throughout this process, the council was left with the responsibility and tasked with fighting for restorations to the harmful cuts across the entire budget. Through what I would characterize as incredibly difficult negotiations, we worked to bridge the distance between us and the administration, fighting to restore investments in essential services that our families, communities, and city need. The budget before us is the result of these labored efforts. This council took seriously our task to negotiate the best and most achievable outcomes that deliver results for New Yorkers. It was our responsibility to shape a negotiated budget as responsible stewards of our city. There are real potential economic and financial implications of a delayed budget that risk harming the very people we seek to protect with our investments. We understand that if we don't achieve a negotiated budget by the legal deadline, it could negatively impact our bond rating and capital budget. Advancing a non-negotiated budget could also put everything we've gained in this fight at risk. It could jeopardize the funding restorations we fought so hard to attain, as well as the important funding for critical programs that this council's foresight helps deliver. We sought to avoid these outcomes by driving hard negotiations that would meet the budget deadline while preserving as many of the investments that New Yorkers count on. These negotiations were uniquely challenging because of how much they focused on restoring cuts at their outset. We left it all on the field for New Yorkers because we know the immense need throughout the city and the lives at stake. We approached these negotiations aiming to claw back every proposed cut that this council prioritized restoring. Everything we secured was a hard-fought victory and must not be overlooked. Because of our efforts, there are many priorities that we successfully advanced in this budget. This council negotiated to restore $36.2 million in funding that our public libraries would have totally lost, affecting weekend and other services that serve New Yorkers of all ages. We avoided this outcome thanks to you and all New Yorkers raising their voices to protect this precious public resource. And as a city that depends on the valuable labor of nonprofit workers, it is imperative that we fairly compensate the human services workforce, the majority of whom are underpaid women of color, with a multi-year pay increase. Securing pay increases for these workers is a matter of gender, racial, and economic justice. We are proud to have secured a new baselined $40 million on top of $60 million from last year, for a total of $100 million in this year's budget for these workers. We also secured an additional $50 million starting next fiscal year, for a total of $150 million in baseline funds for each year moving forward. We know this is still far from what is needed to truly provide these workers with the wages they deserve, and we remain committed to fighting to achieve true parity. CUNY is one of the most effective pathways to equitable economic opportunity for New Yorkers, and they were a major funding priority for us as well. The $32.4 million restored to this budget for our public institutions of higher education will help avoid the bulk of programmatic cuts they faced. We also secured $46 million to support legal service providers and their staff in helping low-income New Yorkers avoid evictions and other destabilizing outcomes. With rising economic instability and evictions, the city's right to counsel program and other legal services championed by the council must be sustained. The frontline workers delivering these services need more dedicated resources, and the permanent baseline $30 million is an important start towards increasing support for them. As a council, we remain committed to pursuing solutions that match the scale of this crisis. Early childhood education is key to long-term cognitive development and gives working parents the opportunity to advance in their careers. Yet, the prohibitive costs of childcare put this out of reach for so many New Yorkers. The council worked hard to secure $16 million to support Promise NYC, providing more childcare assistance to undocumented and low-income families. The baseline $15 million for our shared vision with early childhood education providers to repair 3K by converting extended day, extended year seats will help our city begin to effectively meet extraordinary demands across the city. And because a holistic education requires support inside and outside of the classroom, we secured $14 million for community schools. From restoring cuts to programs that provide meals for our older adults and NYCHA's ability to make vacant apartments available for New Yorkers, to increasing funding for affordable housing during a housing crisis and fair fares when fare hikes are approaching, there are so many investments that we should be proud to have secured. This council's contributions are responsible for individual school budgets receiving additional funding from added weights to the Fair Student Funding Formula and continued federal funding to protect against enrollment losses. Transparency in our budget is critical, which is why the council prioritized improving the structure of the budget to reflect actual agency programs and functions. This year, through our negotiations, we secured commitments from the administration to create 11 new units of appropriation. 2 new units of appropriation in the Department of Corrections budget will allow us to break down their spending on transportation of people who are incarcerated. Over the past 2 years, the units of appropriation for the Department of Correction budget has gone up from 4 to 10. We also secured new units of appropriation in the police department for a total of 7. Finally, Our budget includes a record 62 terms and conditions, which will disclose spending on issues critical to the council, including migrant funding, emergency contracting, DOE payments to early childhood providers, and restorative justice programming. And I thank Jim Karas for his tireless work in securing units of appropriation for this council. We made significant progress on many priorities for New Yorkers, but we also acknowledge that there are unfulfilled goals that still remain missing from this budget. These remain priorities for this council, and we will fight to ensure they are recognized by our city. Let me be perfectly clear. The investments secured in this budget do not represent the completion of our work. Critical programs in our communities require far more resources, and we refuse to turn our backs on the investments that were not able to be secured in this budget. There is more that must be done on every front, and we are fully committed to the important work ahead. We will continue to fight for these investments because we cannot afford to withhold what is proven to help New Yorkers advance in health, safety, and opportunity. Looking ahead, we are more than clear about challenges that we must confront. The city faces the loss of over $10 billion in one-time federal COVID relief funding. We also have significantly increased costs from cost shifts of approximately $500 million from the state and other economic and fiscal realities facing our city, state, and country that could significantly affect the New Yorkers we represent. The council will continue to advocate for our city to take a different approach to proactively address these challenges. Our vision remains one where we work together across all levels of government to address the urgent needs of New Yorkers. While the council's focus this year was to restore cuts to essential services, our city must shift away from this harmful budgeting approach. We must move forward through the lens of expanding what New Yorkers need, not on what they can do without. Though we have come to a negotiated budget, we will continue to push forward in our year-long budgetary, legislative, and oversight efforts to secure the investments that New Yorkers deserve. None of this was remotely possible without the unity this body exhibited in our budget vision and the priorities we shared in fighting for. I encourage us to remain united as a body, even when we may have divergent views, because it is in our unity that strengthens us and afforded the ability to achieve these gains today. We won't always succeed, but I believe this body can achieve anything when we're in the trenches together, working on behalf of and with the people of this city. Our focus now and in the years to come must be to invest in what helps all New Yorkers succeed, and that will be my priority, seeking to strengthen this body and its ability to wield greater power to achieve the outcomes we all want. Colleagues, I appreciate you, and I appreciate your hard work during this budget season. Let's move on to do the work of the people of the city of New York. I thank you for your attention. I now turn it back over to our majority leader.
Thank you, Speaker Adams. We're now going to move into the discussion of general orders. We're first going to call on the Finance Chair, Councilmember Brannan, followed by Councilmember Barron.
Thank you, Majority Leader, and thank you, Speaker. The Council entered into budget negotiations this year with eyes wide open to the challenges on the horizon and at our doorstep. And we've never doubted the durability of our city's economy, but we also recognize that resilience doesn't happen on its own. It requires thoughtful and targeted investments, and when money is tight, tough decisions must be made. So our negotiations were no different from the often tough conversations working families have around their dining room table every night as they try to make ends meet for another month in the most expensive city in the world. But even with an uncertain fiscal future and a migrant influx everyone agrees New York City cannot and should not have to handle on our own. With a nearly $107 billion budget, we knew that there was still no reason for cuts with a scythe. Instead, we fought hard for thoughtful and surgical investments and focused our priorities where they mattered most. I wanted to take a moment to thank everyone in Mission Control across the street who's worked so hard over the past 6 months to get this budget to where it is today and the budget that we're going to vote on today. Every question that was asked over the past 24, 48 hours, every last-minute change that had to be made, and all the research that goes into getting us to this point requires a whole lot of work from folks across the street. And I wanted to just take a second to acknowledge them, starting with the legal unit and the finance division, Kathleen Ahn, Alan Leibowitz, and Michael Toomey. The budget unit, Chima Obachair, Isha Wright, Carillion Francisco, Elizabeth Hoffman, Aliyah Ali, Julia Haramis, Jack Story, Danielle Glantz, Ross Goldstein, Sandra Gray, Sayumi Hamid, Nia Hyatt, Florentine Kobore, Owen Katowski, Daniel Krupp, Casey Lasky, Andrew Lane Lawless, Glenn Martelloni, Alicia Miranda, Monica Salati, Michael Sherman, Tanvir Singh. The Revenue and Economics Unit, of course, Ray Majeski, Emra Adev, Paul Sturm, Hector German, William Krementang, Nashia Roman, Andrew Wilbur. Discretionary Funding and Data Support Unit, Paul Simone, James Reyes, Emmanuel Afwapi, Savannah Chu, Carolina Gill, Miguel Perez. The Administrative Support Unit, Vanessa Diaz-Lopez, Nicole Anderson, and Maria Pagan, and of course, Richard Lee, Jonathan Rosenberg, and Tanisha Edwards. Thank you all so much for all the hard work that you did to get us to this place.
Thank you. We'll now hear from Councilmember Barron.
Thank you very much. My colleagues, you know that this budget should be rejected. I've never seen a more reluctant handshake by a speaker in all my life. As a matter of fact, I only think she gave him 3 fingers. She didn't even give him her whole hand. This budget does not reflect what's needed in this city. First of all, they gave us these documents a few minutes before this meeting. They should have given us a speed reading manual to go with it. This budget is during a time where there is an $8.0 billion reserve fund. There's $4.4 billion in unexpected revenue. This is a surplus year. Last year they said they needed, this is going to be a deficit year. That was a lie. This budget still has major cuts to education, health care, to our youth. This budget has cuts to seniors. Every major service is going to be cut. And we should put in this budget the $439 billion for our retirees that this city has been paying for 57 years. We're talking about lunchroom service. We're talking about traffic directors. We're talking about EMS, teachers. These retirees should be in this budget. But no, we decided to allow this mayor to make these cuts. This is a conservative, I don't even want to say closet Republican because he's out the closet. He's a conservative Republican mayor that is engaging in austerity cuts that aren't necessary during a surplus year. We should have been talking about enhancements, not just cuts. So I want to urge you to vote no on this budget. This is not a fiscally prudent budget. This is a fiscally oppressive budget for those in black and brown communities in particular. I will be voting no on this budget, and I encourage my colleagues to do the same thing. Don't make the same mistake we made last year in voting for a budget that cut money from vital services like education and has a bloated
Thank you,
police
council
budget.
member. Thank you. Please hold your applause, folks. Please hold your applause. Thank you. Do we have anyone else signed up? Not seeing anyone. We will now move into the report of special committees.
None.
Report of standing committees.
Report of the Committee on Finance, preconsidered resos 703 and 704, base percentage and adjusted base proportion.
Coupled on general orders.
Preconsidered reso 705, transparency resolution.
Coupled on general orders.
M141 and preconsidered resos 706 and 707, expense revenue contract budget, fiscal year 2024.
Coupled on general orders.
M142 and preconsidered resolutions 708 and 709, executive capital budget, fiscal year 2024.
Coupled on general orders.
M143 and preconsidered resolution 710, community development program budget.
Coupled on general orders.
Preconsidered M167 and resolution 711 and preconsidered M168 and resolution 712, budget modifications.
Coupled on general orders.
Preconsidered M169 and resolution 713, fixing the tax rate.
Coupled on general orders.
M114 through M157, various budget documents.
Coupled to be filed, I now ask that the clerk take a roll call vote on all of the items coupled on today's general orders calendar.
Abreu.
Permission to explain my vote?
Permission granted.
Thank you, Majority Leader. As we all know, this is a very difficult budget for a variety of reasons. However, I want to thank this council for putting forward a bold and empathetic vision in our initial budget response, and I want to thank Speaker Adams, Chair Brannan, and the budget negotiating team for achieving as much of that vision as possible. Restoration rarely inspires any parades, but for those affected by these restorations, they mean a great deal. They are the difference between seeing your favorite teacher instead of an empty classroom. They are the difference between visiting your local library to be welcomed by a librarian instead of a closed sign. They are the difference between sending your child to a high-quality 3K program instead of quitting your job because childcare is too costly. Progress is never certain. It is up to us to make hard choices and continue the fight to deliver resources, services, and programs that help New Yorkers live in peace and dignity. That fight will not end today. I am relieved that this budget will push the ball forward on legal representation. The $46 million, and I'll say that again, $46 million that this council attained for criminal and legal services will mean that more New Yorkers will be able to stay in their homes and have someone to stand by them in court. If we want to protect our rights, we have to pay the people who do the protecting. And that is what this budget does. I vote aye. Thank you.
Thank you. Ariola.
Aye on all with the exception of resos M169 and accompanying resos 713, 703, and 704.
Thank you. Aviles.
Pass. I need to sort something out. Thank you.
Pass?
Ayala.
Okay.
Okay. I need to disclose on the record of the council proceedings that one AHRC, the New York City chapter of the New York State Association for Retarded Children, is funded in this budget that we're adopting, and my partner is an employee of that organization, and that 2 Positive Workforce is funded under this budget that we're adopting, and my son and my brother are associated with that organization, and with that I will aye. Thank you to all of our colleagues for getting us here today.
Councilmember Ariola for disclosure.
Thank you for the accommodation. I'm disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that the New York City Department of Transportation is funded in the budget that we're adopting, and my brother is an employee of that entity, and that the New York City Department of Sanitation is funded in that budget, in the budget that we are adopting, and my son is an employee of that entity, and the Howard Beach Lindenwood Civic is funded in the budget that we are adopting, and my chief of staff, Phyllis Cirillo, is associated with that not-for-profit.
Thank you. Barron.
To explain my vote very quickly, I just want you to know, Malcolm X once said, if a knife is 9 inches in your back and you pull it out 6 inches, you're still fatally wounded. So we need to understand that those restorations, even the $36 million to the libraries, is on top of the cuts from last year. So libraries are still struggling. And we can appreciate the restorations, but we have the power. We have the power to check this mayor. We have the power to tell him, no, this budget is unacceptable. So while you will be lauded for having these restorations, there were $3 billion worth of cuts, and there's only $300 million worth of restorations. So on that, I will vote no on M141 and accompanying reso. I vote no on M142 and the accompanying reso. No on M143 and the accompanying reso. And one of those no votes are against the capital budget, which they're not even talking to you about. $169 billion for 10 years and only $2.5 billion for NYCHA. NYCHA needs $40 billion to be right. And I also want to disclose that BRIC is funded by the budget, and my son is an employee of that entity. But this budget is wrong. The Bible says where one's treasure is, so is their heart. This is a heartless mayor.
Botcher.
Permission to explain my vote?
Go ahead.
No one's thrilled about this budget. At the beginning of this process, we were faced with draconian cuts across the board. And this council has fought like hell to push back on those cuts. And I am proud of Speaker Adams, the budget negotiation team, the leader team, and everyone in this council who's been fighting the past weeks and months. And we were able to beat back significant cuts to this budget. $107 billion budget, the biggest budget in the history of the city. Budget was $77 billion in 2014, $92 billion in 2020. But it still contains painful cuts that none of us are celebrating. We restored funding to libraries, meals to seniors, sanitation. But we made historic investments in right to counsel, expanding fair fares. There's a cost of living adjustment. New money for early childhood education so that working families can more easily enroll their children in 3K. And next year's budget is predicted to be tough. There's significant budget gap predicted for next year. If the tax receipts break our way, it might not be so bad. If they break the other way, it could be very bad. But I know that this council will continue fighting to prioritize the people in New York who are most vulnerable, who are hurting the most right now. And that's what we've done in this budget. I vote aye.
Brannan.
Aye.
Brewer.
Thank you. I particularly want to thank the Speaker and the Chair, Brandon, and certainly Richard Lee, Tanisha Edwards, Jonathan Rosenberg, Vanessa Diaz-Lopez, all the MDI staff with Jimmy Reyes, Carolina Gill, and Owen Kotowski for all of their amazing work, as well as colleagues. I know that a whole lot of work went into these discussions when you start with major, major cuts and a budget deficit. So I do want to particularly thank the work done on COLAs. I know that this human services staff is often the backbone of our city, and I have great respect for them. And we will continue to fight for even more increases in salaries. I also want to thank the work that was done to support the oversight agencies. If we don't have a strong DOI and Board of Correction and CCRB, then agencies will get away with things they should not, as will individuals, and the public deserves better. NYCHA obviously needs a lot more money, but their vacancies need to be fixed. In one development in my district, as we sit here today, there are 40 vacancies. All apartments need to be fixed. I want to thank the libraries. CUNY obviously needs more funding, but to start Same thing, Meals for seniors and parks. We still want to fight for 1%, but getting the small amount for the staff is always important. So I vote aye and look forward for the months ahead to continuing to fight for the people who need the support the most. But thank you to everybody who worked so hard.
Brooks Powers.
Permission to explain my vote?
Go ahead.
From the moment the preliminary budget was released, we knew this would be a difficult cycle. We knew the city faced emergent fiscal challenges, from the asylum seeker crisis to the reduction in available federal funding post-pandemic. But this council has always been clear about our approach to this budget. We are fiscally responsible when we invest in New Yorkers, in essential programs and services we rely on every day. We create a virtuous cycle of equitable economic growth that supports and uplifts everyone, especially the most vulnerable in our city. That is why this council fought to restore the mayor's cuts to critical services, to our libraries, our schools, our seniors, and so much more, to CUNY and to NYCHA. We worked to expand funding for 3K and secure a pay raise for nonprofit employees who work tirelessly and selflessly to fill gaps in services in each of our communities. And we negotiated an annual addition of $20 million to the Fair Fares program, a meaningful increase in the level of funding to help hundreds of thousands more low-income New Yorkers get where they need to go. This budget is an imperfect result of negotiation, and we understand there is still much more work to be done. Fair Fares is an example. We will continue to fight to expand the eligibility threshold to include more residents in need who benefit from this program. But the budget reflects the efforts of this council to deliver for the people of New York. I want to extend my thanks to Speaker Adrienne Adams for her steadfast leadership throughout this budget cycle. Our Finance Chair, Chair Brannan, for his tireless advocacy on and off the dais. I want to thank the Speaker's Chief of Staff, Jeremy John, First Deputy Chief of Staff, Faiza Ali, and the entire finance team, as well as Tanisha Edwards and, of course, Queens' own Richard Lee, and all the folks in the background that we never hear from but are doing the work. I just want to make my disclosure as well. And so I am disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that Queens Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated is funded in the budget we are adopting, and I am associated with that organization. And that Greater Allen AME Cathedral of New York is funded in the budget we are adopting, and I am associated with that entity. And that Edge School of the Arts is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my daughter is associated with that organization. With that, I vote aye.
Kaban.
Permission to explain my vote?
Go ahead.
Thank you. I'd like to begin with words of appreciation for all of my colleagues who have spent the spring pushing back against the mayor's cruel, dangerous budget cuts and putting forward a vision of a caring New York City with safety and health for all of our families, neighborhoods, and communities. And thank you to Speaker Adams and her team, Finance Chair Brannan and his team, all of Council Finance, the Progressive Caucus, Women's Caucus, LGBTQIA+ Caucus, and the Black, Latino, and Asian Caucus. Thank you as well to Comptroller Lander, Public Advocate Williams, and the many, many organizations who have boldly fought for a budget based on care, not cuts. Standing here today, I cannot help but recall the confusion, the litigation, and the backlash that followed last year's budget vote. In the midst of that whirlwind, I joined several colleagues in outlining a way to avoid the same result this year. Release all the budget documents for consideration by members of the public, press, and council at least 72 hours before we vote. And Mayor Adams has not met that minimum standard this year, so I have not had nearly the time I'd need to adequately scrutinize the budget I am called to vote on. To the best of my understanding in it, the mayor succeeded in defunding the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene in the midst of an urgent citywide mental health crisis by about $150 million. Defunding small business services at a time when shops are shutting down left and right because of unaffordable rents by a stunning nearly 35%. defunding the Department of Transportation after a year when traffic violence has claimed a record number of District 22 lives by over $30 million, defunding CUNY, housing and construction agencies, oversight agencies, labor protection agencies, and the list goes on. And all this defunding despite the fact that the already bloated police budget is skyrocketing this year by over $1 billion. This budget will inflict further hardships on working-class New Yorkers already suffering from inflation and relentless bill hikes from Con Edison and the mayor's handpicked Rent Guidelines Board. I'm going to wrap up, but not only that, but as he has shown over the past fiscal year, the mayor is happy to kick dirt in the face of this entire process by ramming through unpopular, harmful budget modifications that undermine public safety and public health, for which he doesn't even require council approval. So any restoration of funds we manage to win in these budget negotiations, he might easily reverse later in the year while continuing to abet the NYPD's scandalous abuse of overtime. And so in conclusion, for all of these reasons, I am casting a no vote today, as I did last year. No on M141, 42, and 143 and the accompanying rezos, aye on the rest, and as I did last year, I affirm today that I am ready and excited to vote aye on any budget that reflects the priorities of District 22 constituents by reallocating funds from policing, prosecution, and punishments to care, compassion, and community. That's how we achieve true public safety, public health, in a city that works for all of us, not just the wealthy few. Thank you.
All right, folks, please hold your applause. Please do not, we have a lot of votes to get through. You can applause or you can snap instead of applause, but we need to make sure we move the meeting so people can vote. Thank you.
Carr.
Permission to explain my vote?
Go ahead.
Thank you, Majority Leader. I just want to thank those who helped with local initiatives and supported local initiatives for Staten Island in particular, of course, our Speaker for showing herself a friend to our borough 2 budget cycles in a row, my colleagues in the borough delegation, our chair, Joe Borelli, and my colleague, Camila Hanks, for their partnership on leadership across so many issues, and of course, the many members of staff who listened to us and heard our concerns and fought for things that were important to our constituents, Jeremy John, Carlos Beato, Tanisha Edwards for all of her help and for being a friend to me and my predecessors in my district for the last several years, Richard Lee for all of his work this year, and as well as my own staff, Giuseppe Desario, Lorenz Centineo, and Peter Spencer from the Minority Leaders Office. And in particular, I just want to say good luck and farewell to Ray Majewski. He was a wonderful partner to everyone from my district. You know, Jimmy Otto, Steve Matteo, I know they valued his partnership greatly, and I'm no exception to that. So I wish you well, Ray, on your next chapter, and we'll miss you here when we have those tough questions that we need to parse through. So thank you so much for everything you've done for our city. And with that said, I'm going to disclose on the record that in these council proceedings that the City University of New York is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my spouse is a student at CUNY, and the Italian Club of Staten Island and the Jewish Community Center of Staten Island are being funded in the budget we are adopting, and I'm a member of both organizations. With that said, I'll be voting no on M169 and accompanying Resolution 713, as well as Resolutions 703 and 704, and aye on the rest.
De La Rosa.
Permission to explain my vote?
Go ahead.
Thank you. I would first like to thank Speaker Adams, who has courageously led this body in budget negotiations despite the many obstacles thrown her way. Speaker Adams, your steadfast actions leading up to this vote today has made me feel proud to be a member of this body. I also want to thank our colleagues in leadership and BNT, plus all of the finance staff who have worked arduously over the last few months to secure wins in our budget that safeguard access to critical services that this mayor attempted to cut. The unfortunate reality we must face is that this was an effort that should have never been needed in the first place, because cuts to critical services should have never been in the table. This is a council that in its efforts identified $2.7 billion in additional revenue. We have had to fight to convince a mayor of a city coming out of a pandemic and facing compounding crisis that working people in our city need our help. For a mayor who puts the priority on public safety, words ring hollow when we continue inflating an NYPD budget that is greater than several agencies combined. Yet there is not enough investment on the true remedies to public safety, like permanent housing, health services, stable employment, or adequate reentry services. This budget does not fully remedy previous pegs, forcing city agencies to operate at lower levels when demand for assistance is at an all-time high.
Constituent services staffers across our city can attest to this reality when we are forced to scrape together resources to feed constituents who have had their public assistance shut off, or rescue tenants stuck in ever-dilapidated NYCHA elevators. While there are wins in this budget because of the efforts of this council, this is only the first step. We cannot guarantee that this mayor will not attempt to impose further cuts down the line. I want to remind our colleagues that our power is derived from the people we serve, and this council has its work cut out for us. We must continue to push back to ensure that working people across our city can feel the fights we fought on their behalf. They deserve a budget that fully addresses their needs and safeguards their ability to thrive in our city. I'm wrapping up. A budget that centers all New Yorkers, our children and families, our newly arrived migrant neighbors, our city's workforce, including our human service workers, those inflicted by mental illness and substance abuse, those returning home from incarceration. This budget falls short of delivering for these vulnerable populations, and it did not have to come to this. For those reasons, I will be voting no on this budget today. I vote no on M141 and M142 and the accompanying resos. I also want to disclose on the record that Washington Heights Tennis Association is funded in this budget, and my daughter is associated with this nonprofit. And also the DOE is funded in this budget, and my daughter is associated with this nonprofit. Thank you.
Folks, please hold your applause. Thank you. We asked 3 times.
Dinowitz.
I'm disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that New York Presbyterian Columbia University Family Medical Center is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my mother is an employee of that entity. I also want to thank, especially the finance staff who was up all hours of the night working on this, especially Ray. I'm going to miss all of his lectures on the economy and economics. I learned a lot from you. Of course, our speaker, Finance Chair Justin Brannon, and all my colleagues who pushed for a lot of important priorities in this budget. And I think a lot about the work that we do as elected officials. Even just today, walking toward my office, I have a library right down the block from my district office, and there were people waiting outside to get into the library. And because of the fights we had, and because of this budget, the doors to that library will stay open for our constituents and for my constituents. I got a call even just this morning about a woman who is facing eviction. And because of our fight, we are investing more money in legal services so that women like that and their families and everyone else have a better chance of staying in their homes. On the subway today, I saw a great advertisement for CUNY ASAP, and we fought very hard not just to beat back cuts to CUNY, but to specifically name advisors, ACE and ASAP, as programs that we are going to fund in this council, programs that help give our students a better chance at success, help keep them in school, double graduation rates, and make their lives and the lives of all New Yorkers better. We in this council did that. We didn't get everything we wanted. There was a lot that we didn't get. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done. But I know that my constituents and New Yorkers all over the city are better off because of how hard we fought for this budget, how much we worked as a team, and I vote aye.
Farias.
I'm disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that NYU Langone is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my mother is an employee of that entity, and that the New York City Department of Education is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my sibling is a student at that entity. I also want to take a moment to thank the entire finance team, and I vote aye on all.
Feliz.
Permission to explain my vote?
Go ahead.
Thank you, Majority Leader. As we all know, this is not an easy budget. Not an easy budget due to many reasons, including the unexpected costs we've had from the migrant crisis. Funds that we were proud to take on because these migrants needed help, but costs and realities that were not foreseen. I vote aye on this budget. It includes many victories that we should all be proud of, including and especially victories on the issue on the topic of 3K and pre-K early childhood programs. These programs make a tremendous difference in the lives of our children, and I'm talking about our youngest children, our youngest students, as young as 3 and 4 years old. These programs also make a big difference in the lives of our parents, including and especially new parents. I'm proud that we're expanding 3K and pre-K programs, creating nearly 2,000 new seats for full-day and year-round 3K and pre-K programs. These programs are life-changing, and we need to make sure that they are truly, but truly accessible for all, including and especially low-income families. We need to make sure that no child is left behind and ensure that every child, regardless of the zip code they live in, has access to these life-changing programs. The expansion of 3K and pre-K will help achieve that. It's an investment in our youngest students, an investment that we should all be proud of. So I proudly vote aye on all, and thank you so much. And congratulations to everyone, including our speaker and everyone who fought so that we could achieve everything that we achieved. Thank you.
Gennaro.
Aye.
Gutierrez.
Permission to explain my vote?
Go ahead.
In negotiating this budget, Speaker Adams has had an impossible task. Instead of starting from a place of opportunity, she was forced to push back against cut after cut proposed by this mayor. I want to thank her for standing strong and for fighting like hell for our centuries-old institutions like our libraries and restoring cuts made to CUNY programs. These are engines of opportunity that this mayor would have crippled if given the chance. I'm deeply proud of the victories this council achieved. Meaningful steps to rethink our childcare infrastructure, including Promise NYC, capital funding for desperately needed affordable housing, and expanding fair fares. But my community is drowning. We are drowning in displacement, in evictions, in food insecurity, and in childcare costs. And this budget leaves the city gasping for air. Thousands of nonprofit social service workers, predominantly women of color, flooded our streets, asking humbly to be lifted out of poverty wages. This budget denies them the salary increases they are entitled to, while somehow managing to provide 6 years of back pay for the NYPD, a windfall that no other essential city employee will receive. This mayor's priorities are clear. From budget cuts to social service agencies to giving less and expecting more, the mayor is placing the burden of the city's success on the backs of the people on the front lines without providing them the resources they deserve. These people are my constituents and my neighbors, and I can't sign my name onto a budget that allows them to fail. The mayor's budget fails our schools, our parents, our tenants, our unhoused, our seniors, and it frames our economy of care as a question up for debate rather than a requirement for our success. As the forces of gentrification intensify and the cost of living continues to rise, the working class and the working poor are increasingly being pushed out of the neighborhoods they built. As a community organizer, I will use every tool at my disposal to fight back against the forces that would erase my communities, and that includes voting no on a budget that does not go far enough to meet our needs. I'm almost done. I look forward to working with my colleagues on real structural change that reimagines what it looks like to serve New Yorkers. I vote no on this budget and no on M141 and M142 with its accompanying resolutions. And I'm also disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that the New York City Department of Social Services is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my husband is an employee of that entity, and that Maimonides Hospital is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my sister is an employee of that entity. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we understand your enthusiasm. The majority leader has asked twice to please, 3 times now, to please hold your applause. We ask for your respect in this chamber as the meeting continues. If it happens one more time, I will ask the Sergeant at Arms to please remove those that do not respect the wishes to hold the applause. Thank you very much.
Hanif.
Permission to explain my vote?
Go ahead.
I vote no. I do so with deep appreciation for Speaker Adams and the entire budget negotiating team, which secured significant restorations to the mayor's proposed cuts for critical agencies and programs, including libraries and Promise NYC. I proudly stood with them and many of my colleagues as we fought back against austerity and united to deliver what working New Yorkers deserve. However, the austerity that the mayor forced through is too destructive for me to endorse. From cradle to college, the mayor has insisted on slashing our educational system. The promise of universal 3K was scheduled to be fully realized this year, but this budget caused many families in my district to have their 3K applications rejected. Despite strong efforts to hold our public schools harmless, This budget is requiring schools to excess critical staff, with deeper cuts still on the table for the fall. This budget also applies significant cuts to CUNY, the economic driver that has allowed students, especially students of color like me, to become our city's next generation of leaders. This austerity is also reflected in the mayor's short-sighted refusal to allocate any new legal services funding for the over 80,000 asylum seekers our city has welcomed. This refusal will limit the ability of our newest neighbors to get work authorization, leaving them dependent on a strained shelter system. The mayor loves to talk about how we are in a crisis, yet with this budget and veto of the City FEPS package, he has been unwilling to take the urgent steps needed to get us out of said crisis. While this budget administers cuts across the board, the already bloated NYPD budget is increasing by a staggering $1.85 billion, effectively boosting police spending by 17%. We are giving the police a blank check while starving the social services that keep our communities safe. As co-chair of the Progressive Caucus, chair of the Immigration Committee, and council member for the 39th District, I cannot approve this budget. My community sent me here to fight for a New York that provides a world-class public education to young people, lives up to our values as a sanctuary city, and prioritizes care over cages. In order to best represent them, I must vote no on M141, M142, and the accompanying rezos. Thank you.
Hank.
We're going to hold a second while we clear upstairs. Thank you.
Hanks.
Thank you, Mr. Majority Leader. Thank you, Speaker Adrian Adams, Chair Brennan, and everyone who worked hard in this effort in pulling us through another budget season. I also want to echo the sentiments of Councilmember Carr, part of my Staten Island delegation. With that, I vote aye on all, with the exception of M169 and the accompanying reso 703, 704, and 713. Thank you.
Thank you. Holden. Hudson.
Permission to explain my vote.
Go ahead.
Today's budget adoption is a testament to the council's will to serve as a counterweight to a mayor wholly unconcerned with the material well-being of New Yorkers. From the preliminary budget to the executive budget, Mayor Adams was firm in his position to starve the programs most important to vulnerable New Yorkers. This administration made concerted efforts to slash hundreds of millions of dollars from the programs our communities rely on most, from libraries to meals for older adults. However, this council, under the leadership of Speaker Adams, held firm. Speaker Adams secured critical wins while negotiating with an unreliable and ideologically divergent administration, an accomplishment that would not have been possible without the tireless advocacy of so many partners, providers, and our own neighbors. This budget, while not wholly sufficient, fully restores funding for our city's library systems, maintains investments in our cultural institutions, expands funding for the MTA's Fair Fares program, baselines funding for the city's Right to Counsel program, secures millions to bolster the city's crisis management system, and entirely restores funding for CUNY, among other wins. And as chair of the Council's Committee on Aging, I'm heartened by the restoration of funding for older adult services, clawing back many of the cuts this administration made. With the most progressive city council in our city's history and the invaluable work of grassroots organizations, it is clear we are making inroads in reforming broken systems that need deeper investment. The NYPD still has too much money, period. Though we cannot control the agency's outrageous overtime spending and have no role in negotiations with the Police Benevolent Association, we held a line on the elements we do control, like the operating budget, which has not increased. If it wasn't already apparent, this budget made clear that the council does not have a willing, forthright partner in this administration. Mayor Adams' concessions are neither generous nor willing. They are council and community wins, and they affirm our commitment to continue building a city that leads with principles of care, compassion, and a belief that New Yorkers deserve the services to which they are entitled, not an analysis of what they can do without. I'm disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that the Museum of the City of New York is funded in the budget we're adopting, and my spouse is associated with that entity. I vote aye on all.
Thank you. Joseph.
Permission to explain my vote.
Go ahead.
Over the last few months, my colleagues under the leadership of Speaker Adams fought tooth and nail for priorities that matter to New Yorkers. This was particularly challenging budget negotiation due to restoring many of the cuts proposed in the mayor's executive budget. We were largely successful in pushing back against some of the most hurtful components. Through the budgets, we were able to get $4 billion in capital for our deeply affordable housing, our NYCHA repairs, CUNY libraries, mental health continuum, community schools, Promise NYC, millions immigrant family engagement, art education, shelter-based coordinators for foster youth, work, learn, and grow. When it came to ensuring that we put our youngest New Yorkers as our priority, early childhood was not left behind. We were able to convert seats, school year seats to extend day seats as well. But let me be clear, the mayor and his administration continue to slash budgets for vital services like housing, mental health, while protecting and expanding the NYPD's bloated budget. Continuing down this path will strip care and services from most vulnerable New Yorkers. If we truly believe in the notion if we do not educate, we will incarcerate, there must be ample investment in New York City children. Within our public school system, there are more school cops than counselors, school workers, restorative justice coordinators. It is not enough to tell New Yorker students we care about them. We must show them that when they walk into our school buildings, a student that is happy has access to help, resources, and extracurriculars. That is true essence of what public safety is. The budget is not perfect. There are some wins for New Yorkers, but we cannot keep fighting these budget battles strictly on a restorative basis. I'm committing to holding mayor's feet to the fire when it comes to fully funding our schools, prevent mid-year adjustment cuts, advocating for high-quality education that all New York City students deserve. Rest assured that this council will use every tool at our disposal to address the growing crisis we're facing around homelessness, affordability, and mental health. I'm proud of what we were able to accomplish thus far, and I applaud Speaker Adams' leadership through this process. To the advocates who's been on the front line doing this work, I say thank you. Our work is not done. I look forward to fighting for what New York City truly deserves, with a focus on abundance, not scarcity. I vote aye. And on the record, I'd like to disclose that my son is in the city Department of Education is funded in this budget, and my son is a student. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Hanif.
Thank you. I'm disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that New York Immigration Coalition is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my fiance is associated with that entity. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Kagan.
Thank you. I'm disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that the City University of New York is funded in this budget we are adopting, and my daughter is a student at that entity. I'm voting no on budget, and I'm voting yes on pre-considered resolution 705. Basically, it's transparency resolution. That's the only resolution I'm voting yes, and I'm voting no on everything else.
Thank you, Councilman. Krishnan.
Permission to explain my vote?
Go ahead.
First, two disclosures. I am disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that one, the Bronx Defenders is funded in this budget that we are adopting, and my wife is an employee of that entity, and that two, the New York City Department of Education is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my son, both children, are students of that entity. The budget is the single most important piece of legislation every year. It is negotiated between the mayor and the council. It sends paychecks to nurses, teachers, and lifeguards. It fills sinkholes and paves streets. It brings textbooks to schools and picture books to libraries. And this year's budget was a win by our council against the mayor's bleak vision for our city. This year's budget addresses our city's challenges head on. For the first time ever, we will provide full year, full-time, free early childhood care to thousands of working parents. We will spend $4 billion to build new affordable housing. And for our New York City Parks Department, we won new parks workers and lifeguards, and we restored the positions for urban park rangers. And as a former housing attorney, I am proud that we in the City Council led the charge to finally fund a true right to counsel for New Yorkers facing eviction or unjust criminal prosecution. We will give a record $41 million to our housing lawyers and public defenders to guarantee New Yorkers' right to an attorney, a historic investment. And let me be clear, one that I know personally how historic it is because we have not seen such an investment in legal services in years past. These are wins. We also fought and won against the mayor's cuts to so many institutions that working families of New York City depend on. There will be no cuts to our libraries, no cuts to school budgets, no cuts to 3K or CUNY programs. This council will not let our city fail our families. We pulled this budget away from the mayor.
Expired.
May I conclude?
Go
We
ahead.
pulled this budget away from the mayor's austerity and towards the abundant New York City that our council believes in. But there is still much work to do in the years ahead. We need at least 1% of the budget for parks. We need to pay our city and nonprofit workers what they are worth. We need to put people in homes and make sure they can stay there. And we can't keep throwing good money after bad. More money to NYPD and corrections' already bloated budgets has not made us more safe in our communities. It never will. We need to build a safe, fair, flourishing city for all. That is the work ahead. And so, having stood with the activists on the steps of City Hall, having fought alongside my colleagues in the council every single step of the way to make critical investments and reverse dire cuts, I now proudly stand with my colleagues to vote yes on this budget. I'd also like to thank Speaker Adams, our council leadership, our finance team, Tanisha Edwards, Richard Lee, Ray, and all of those in the City Council who have worked so hard to get to this point. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Lee.
Permission to explain my vote.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon, colleagues. It has been a long and hard budget negotiation, and there are many great wins against the mayor's cuts that are worth highlighting here, including funding for our libraries, parks, early childhood education, CUNY, programs to baseline funding for older adults. And we often talk as a council about supporting and funding the folks who work in the gaps between city services. These nonprofit workers who I'm talking about are our everyday heroes. When there are cuts to city agencies and programming, they're the ones stepping up to the plate and shouldering that weight. So I'm very proud that as a council, we fought hard to secure the $40 million in baseline salary enhancements for the nonprofit workers and an additional $50 million for the next fiscal year. And that all is built upon the $68 million that was baseline for salary enhancements we secured last year, which is 3 consecutive years of incremental wins that this council has delivered for our nonprofit workers. This is a workforce that has been neglected and undervalued for many years. There is a lot of lost time and ground to make up, and 1 or 2 budget cycles alone will not do the trick. But these numbers are a testament to the long-term commitment of this council and its leadership when it comes to supporting our nonprofit workers and continuing the fight for true COLAs in their contracts with the city. I want to thank Speaker Adams and Chair Brannon for their leadership. I also want to thank who I know on this council have been fighting for this extremely hard, including Council Members Brewer, as well as Council Member Stevens. And thank you for allowing me to contribute to these efforts and discussions these past few months. And with that, I proudly vote yes on this budget, which also comes with my commitment to continuing this fight to make sure that our nonprofit workers get the COLAs that they deserve. And with that, I am also disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that the New York City Department of Education is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my child is associated with this entity.
Thank you. Lewis.
Permission to explain my vote.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Majority Leader. I want to applaud Speaker Adams, Chair Brennan, and the entire finance team for their dedication to this budget, but I particularly want to thank those that I annoyed on the finance team. Tanisha, Richard, Jimmy, Savannah, Paul, Quillian, Isha, and Ivan from OMB. Thank you for taking all of my calls. I really appreciate the dedication of this finance team and your hard work to help 51 members navigate through a tight budget process. Despite the draconian cuts, and those cuts do not pinch, they hurt. Speaker Adams and the BNT team was innovative in getting wins for childcare, CUNY, COLA, and other programs and institutions. Responsible stewards also have to make difficult decisions. And despite those difficult decisions, we have a responsibility to deliver for New Yorkers and deliver a budget to operate a city in dire need of services. Therefore, the fight does continue. Once again, I would like to thank Speaker Adams, Chair Brennan, and the finance team, and all those that got us to the finish line to ensure that we're dedicated to the progress of our city. I vote aye on all, and I would also like to disclose on the record for the council proceedings that the MTA, Metropolitan Transportation Authority, is funded in the budget and we are adopting, and my brother is an employee with this entity. Thank you.
Thank you. Marte.
Permission to explain my vote.
Go ahead.
I'm disclosing on the record of the council's proceeding that the Fortune Society is funded in the budget and we are adopting, and my brother is associated with that entity. I'd like to thank my budget director, Berenice, Council Finance, and my staffers, Ian Wong and Henry Lin. We're going to miss you. I vote no on M141, M142, and accompanying resos, and I wrote yes on the rest. Thank you.
Thank you. Mealy.
I vote aye on all.
Menon.
Permission to explain my vote.
Go ahead.
I'm disclosing on the record that the National September 11th Memorial and Museum is funded in the budget we're adopting. I'm associated with that entity. And secondly, Tada Theater and Dance Alliance is funded in the budget, and my daughter has attended classes there. So first of all, I want to thank the speaker. I want to thank the Council Finance and Budget Negotiating Team for handling the very arduous task of agreeing on the city budget through these difficult times. This is clearly not a perfect budget, but we avoided cuts that would have decimated funding to early childhood education, to libraries, and to CUNY. The cut to these vital institutions and programs would have rendered just tremendously deleterious impacts, and I really want to thank the speaker for preventing this from happening. This council was able to prevent cuts to DOE programs and baseline $15 million to convert 1,800 3K seats into 3K extended day. This investment keeps New Yorkers in the workforce while their children receive a high-quality early childhood education. I also want to say that certain investments that are very important in affordable housing and fair fares, in sanitation services were incredibly important. I want to thank the speaker, Jeremy John, Tanisha Edwards, Richard Lee, and my council colleagues who fought for and prioritized these wins. Thank you. Vote aye. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Moya.
I vote aye.
Thank you. Narcisse.
Permission to explain my vote.
Go ahead.
This budget today respects the fiscal reality of our economic status. What I say by that, we have $10 billion from federal level that we're not having. We have over $500 billion from the federal and million from the state. We heard it. It has been difficult. I have not seen a perfect budget from the aspect of my business life. Today, it's I'm kind of disappointed to some level because knowing that we every day, the council team, the finance team, the speaker, the finance chair, every day, in and out, and all the team, my colleagues, we fought very, very hard. And we are very diverse from different level of life, understand. Some of us been in business, some of us been volunteers all over, understand the inequities in our community. So for some of my colleagues, that's talking about $107 billion. And many of you knows that $107 billion is not us deciding on the $107 billion.
If it's not an emergency, I am super consumed right now.
Huh?
What is?
Councilmember Moya, please turn your microphone off.
So we're not the one, unfortunately for whatever, we're not the one deciding on all that money. We wish we were the one that's kind of magic wand and say, this is what we want. And I believe that everyone here will be laughing, will be clapping, will be having a party, because that will be our decision. But let's focus on the positive side of it, where we started from zero. And then we were able to have so many wins. We're talking about NASHA. We're talking about the 3K. We're talking about libraries. We're talking about the pay parity, fair fare. We're talking about mental health. Me, as a nurse over 3 decades, seeing those difficulty, because without food on your table, you cannot eat every night. Without a shelter, we have been hit so hard. Over 81,000 asylum seekers in the city of New York. We're trying to deal with all that. And my colleagues understand that we do not have the override over $107 billion. We know that for a fact. And we did so much to reach that level. So I want to say thank you again to everyone that participated and not being a hypocrite to the system and understand what took place, how we put our heart and soul to make sure the city of New York continue running. Because if we did not make the decision, today organization will not be functioning in the city of New York. So thank you, and I vote aye to everyone with respect to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Nurse.
Thank you. Good afternoon, colleagues. I just want to begin by remembering a New York City legend, Carl Stubbs. Carl Stubbs was an activist and freedom fighter with Vocal New York. In May of this year, he finally secured an apartment for himself after constantly fighting for others. And unfortunately, he passed away today after a battle with pancreatic cancer. And I want to remember him as we vote for this budget. There are thousands of people like Carl who need help, and as I vote today, I'm thinking about how this budget may or may not have met his needs. I want to thank Speaker Adams for leading the council in what we all know was an incredibly difficult budget negotiation. I want to thank council finance staff. Thank you for folks who answered my call. Thank you to all my constituents for reaching out and sharing your concerns. I am truly grateful that we got the restorations of critical programs. But as the speaker said yesterday at the handshake, this budget is a restorative budget. The mayor has created an environment that is combative and deeply concerning. This budget is the result of the mayor cultivating a negotiating terrain that precluded any opportunities for a transformational or expanded progressive agenda. New Yorkers should be alarmed that we were forced to fight for basics like public higher education, meals for seniors, money for oversight agencies, and despite 100,000 cases clogging eviction court, this administration refused to fully fund right to counsel. Many New Yorkers will be evicted and displaced this year. It is abundantly clear that these proposed cuts were a shallow, thinly veiled negotiating tactic as opposed to practices in good or collaborative governance, and I'm really hopeful that it's clear that this is going to be a very long fight for the next couple years. It is alarming that the mayor is cutting $17 million to reentry programs that help individuals find housing, stay off drugs, and get jobs, while not adequately funding the mental health components we need, like hospital-based mobile treatment teams, more respite centers, or OPCs. We again see the overemphasis on traditional policing reflected in the NYPD receiving retroactive pay raises that go back 6 years, while 60% of our human service providers who carry out life-saving services are forced to rely on public assistance. These human service providers are public safety workers who carry out essential survival services, and we need to affirm their value in their paychecks. I am saying no to how this mayor's government to the city budget. We are not fighting against just this year's cuts, but a considerable gutting of public capacity and CBO capacity to not just do the bare minimum, but help New Yorkers thrive. New Yorkers need more, and with that, I vote nay on M141, M142, and the accompanying resos. Thank you.
Holden.
Disclose on the record that my son is an adjunct lecturer at CUNY, of which we are voting on today in the transparency, and I vote aye on all except M169 and accompanying reso 713 and 703 and 704. Thank you.
Thank you. Osei.
Permission to explain my vote?
Go ahead.
This is the most important decision made by the city government each year. At our hands is the world's largest municipal budget funding vital services for 9 million people. This is $100 billion that can be used to heal. $100 billion that can set the globe's greatest city on a path toward recovery and prosperity, or maintain a status quo. And this city council has been given an impossible task. Everyone in this room has been forced to spend a year performing the hardest part of this job, to be a check and a balance to the mayor. At every turn, the mayor has tried to bleed our city dry to serve his true constituents, corporate interests, and the carceral state. When this body should have been devoting our energy to serving our neighbors, we've been forced instead to defend them against an executive who is on a campaign of fear-mongering and division. This mayor has decided to rule instead of lead, slashing the sources of true public safety in my community, like education and social services, then insisting history's largest police budget is the only way to clean up his mess. He has negotiated in bad faith, stripping tens of millions of dollars from starving agencies, then expecting us to praise him for returning what he stole. But Malcolm X said, if you stick a knife 9 inches into my back, then pull it out 6 inches, that is no progress. I will not thank this mayor for those 6 inches. I will continue to fight to pull that knife out of New York's back and heal its wound. I want to thank Speaker Adams for her clear-eyed leadership, waging a defensive fight for all New Yorkers. I want to thank the budget negotiation team for playing the best they could with the hand they were dealt when the mayor had already rigged the deck and bought the table. This council has outdone itself in shielding New York from the mayor's worst impulses, and you have made your constituents proud. I vote to say that a city full of cops but short on housing, a city that fills Rikers but gambles with preschools, is a city beneath the dignity of its people. Our rallying cry is not to restore the cuts, but to reimagine what New York can be, reinvest our resources to get there, and renew the relationship between government and citizen. The budget passing today is strategic, letting us live to fight another day while securing some very real wins for our people. But the greatest city in the world deserves the best. New Yorkers and the people of Bed-Stuy and Crown Heights deserve not just to survive, but to thrive. I vote no, and I most especially vote no on M141, M142, and all accompanying resolutions. Thank you.
Palladino.
Permission to explain my vote.
Go ahead.
I am proud that this budget keeps the NYPD whole, even as we have a difficult budget due to the revenue difficulties and the migrant crisis. I disagree with some of my colleagues in council. We need our police, and they need to be funded. I vote aye on all except for M169, Reso 713, Reso 703, and Reso 704. Thank you.
Thank you. Wrestler.
I'd like to disclose on the record that the Mercantile Library Association, also known as the Center for Fiction, and the Brooklyn Heights Association are funded in this budget, and my mom serves on the board of both organizations, so thanks to your service at those groups, Mom. I want to begin by thanking my staff, especially my brilliant policy budget ledge director, Molly Haley, Chief Marianne Alexander, and everyone who worked on this, the great team at Council Finance, B&T, Chair Brannan, and especially the Speaker, for courageously and consistently fighting back and securing many critical restorations in the face of the mayor's disastrous budget proposals. We all know that our city is in crisis, and instead of the mayor forging forward with a bold vision for New York, he has insisted on a budget that harms our communities and fails to create the opportunities that New Yorkers need. Families are struggling to get by. We have a record 100,000 people in our shelter system and a humanitarian crisis at Rikers. Rather than propose a budget with strategic investments that meet the needs of our constituents, meet the challenges of this moment, the mayor has made disastrous cuts. This council has been clear-eyed that the mayor's approach is wrong, and I am again grateful to our leadership for preventing the worst cuts from taking effect, especially for our libraries in CUNY. And I'm proud to have organized a number of priorities that have been incorporated into this budget. With Chair Rivera and Kevin Riley pushing for increased funding for supervised release will mean fewer people on Rikers Island. along with Chair Aviles, pushing for restoration of the NYCHA vacancy readiness funding will mean more people are out of shelters and into permanent housing. And I am proud that many of the priorities that we pushed for in the Progressive Caucus have been partially incorporated into this budget. But partial restorations will not make enough of a difference. Half loaves are not going to cut it. Our city is in crisis and we need to invest in a more secure future. Some of the areas that are particularly unacceptable that I want to highlight today are supportive housing, where we've cut HPD's funding by $14.7 million, HRA, where we've cut staff by 2,000 people at the Department of Social Services, where we have huge waiting lists for supportive housing and vacant units. There's not one penny for justice-involved supportive housing. Supportive housing is the solution to homelessness, and yet we cut it. DHS's budget is cut. We cut $1 billion from 3K. Funding for our own individual neighborhood schools will be lower than the year before. We could have done better, and that is why on M141 and M142 and the accompanying rezos, and I on the rest. Thank you.
Richardson Jordan.
Permission to explain my vote?
Go ahead.
I wish to be associated with the comments made by Councilmember Ressler, Councilmember Osei, Councilmember Nurse, Councilmember Hanif, Councilmember Gutierrez, Councilmember De La Rosa, Councilmember Caban, and last but mostly, Councilmember Barron. I think what we are all saying today is that this city deserves more, that we have a social responsibility to do more, and if we're going to talk about hypocritical, it is hypocritical to be public servants and not serve the public. The fact that it could be worse is going to be little consolation to those who are in most desperate need. I most definitely vote no. No on M141, M142, M143, and accompanying rezos.
Riley.
I'm disclosing on the record the New York Department of Education is funded in the budget. We are adopting my daughter's a student at this entity. The YMCA is funded in the budget. We are adopting my immediate family associated with this entity, and NYC ACS is funded in this budget. We are adopting my sister as an employee of this entity, and I vote aye on all.
Rivera.
Permission to explain my vote?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for your leadership and your work to pass this budget. The fiscal year 24 budget builds on work this council has done to preserve and expand education, youth employment opportunities, arts and culture senior meals, address housing needs, including for NYCHA families, support important public spaces and institutions, and more. The mayor's executive budget proposed irresponsible cuts to many vital city services, and our negotiations reversed some while making key investments to move our city forward. The administration's refusal to fully acknowledge the significance of outside expertise, especially within places like our jail system, is a move to eliminate outside scrutiny. One budget will not solve this, but the council has the power of oversight in legislation, and we will mandate transparency and continued accountability to the public and the Board of Correction. I'm thankful to have secured a $37 million increase for supervised release, which will keep people off of Rikers and connect them with the mental health and social services they need to avoid recidivism, as well as resources for alternatives to incarceration and to support restoration of cuts to the Board of Correction, who provide a critical role in overseeing jail operations. It's up to us to continue fighting back against proposed cuts by the mayor and continuing work alongside colleagues, advocates, neighbors, and our talented staff here at the council to build a more fair, compassionate, and healthy city. With that, I vote aye. Thank you.
Salamanca.
Permission to explain my vote?
Go ahead.
All right, I am disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that the New York City Parks and Recreation is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my wife is an employee of that entity. The Castle Hill Little League is funded in the budget and that we are adopting, and my son is associated with that organization. And the Y is funded in the budget that we're adopting, and my wife's son and I are associated with this organization, and I vote aye on all.
Thank you. Sanchez.
Permission to explain my vote?
Go ahead.
The way we get to safety, to recovery, to progress is by investing in our people, investing in the development of who we are as a people, our education, the care of our children, stability in our homes, our enrichment. And the budget that we are passing today falls short, not because this council, our speaker, and our leadership didn't make clear our priorities, but because we have a mayor intent on austerity, harboring false notions of how we get to safety, and who invited a harsh process. Nevertheless, our speaker and this council clawed significant wins on behalf of New Yorkers in all of our communities. This budget finally makes available $4 billion in capital for the construction of supportive and affordable housing this year. We'll continue our oversight to achieve the headcount we need to actually spend these funds, but finally they are there. We'll also continue to fight to ensure this $4 billion becomes and stays an annual commitment. This budget also helps to keep the most vulnerable New Yorkers within their homes with an expanded funding for right to counsel. It achieves some cost of living adjustment gains for human service workers, expands fair fares, restores funding in our libraries and CUNYs, takes steps to correct design flaws of the original Universal 3K, and it funds Promise NYC. I just want to make very clear in the context of this budget that there should be no mistake made. This council will shortly also be passing our City for HEPS legislative package, which will expand housing stability for New Yorkers in their homes via expanded vouchers. All of this is happening together, and I just want to thank and shout out the leadership of the Speaker of our New York City Council, Adrian Adams. Thank you.
Schulman.
Permission to explain my vote?
Go ahead.
This was not an easy budget. First, federal stimulus funds that have padded the New York City budget for the past 2 cycles is mostly gone now. Second, we had over $1 billion in unexpected costs to take care of the migrants coming to our city with little help from New York State or the federal government. But even with these and other challenges, we are passing a budget with significant investments for education, healthcare, libraries, housing, older adults, where I want to make a special mention about Meals on Wheels, which is a lifeline for many of the seniors in my district, and the quality of life in our neighborhoods. I want to give a shout out to Speaker Adams. You know, Kermit the Frog said it's not easy being green, it's not easy being Speaker. Speaker Adams, no, here, she took it upon herself. You know, we're all thanking her, but I want to thank her specifically. She took it upon herself to go down to Washington with members of the council to get more money for us for the migrants that we have coming in here, and she succeeded in getting over $130 million, which affects this budget. So I want to point that out, because without that, we wouldn't have some of the wins that we have today. With that, there is still a lot of work. There's clearly a lot of work to be done. I look forward to working with Speaker Adams and my colleagues to continue the fight to make New York City more equitable and just, because it's very important for us to work on the investments that didn't make it into this budget. With that, I am disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that the office of the mayor of the city of New York is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my brother is an employee of that entity. And with that, I vote aye on all.
Councilmember Sanchez.
Very important. I vote aye. And I'd also, I disclose on the record of the council proceedings that the City University of New York is funded in the budget, and we are adopting, and my brother is employed by that entity. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Stevens.
Permission to explain my vote?
Go ahead.
I would like to start off by thanking Speaker Adrian Adams, her team, the entire Finance Division, the Finance Chair, Justin Brenner, and thank you to the leadership and thank you for your leadership and commitment for fighting for all New Yorkers. I would like to acknowledge the complexity of the decisions we were faced throughout this year's budget process, and that is essential because going into this budget, we all knew that we were going to have to make hard decisions. One of the things that I'm most disappointed by in this is we were unable to deliver a real COLA for the human service sector. The human service workers are essential, and yet they are the second lowest paid industry in New York, with a workforce that's overwhelmingly women and people of color. The Just Pay campaign highlighted the need to invest in the workforce, and this budget does not deliver for them. What is worse is not giving them a real COLA is that it's not on par with the other workforce and industries throughout New York City. It sets them back and it makes it even harder for them to hire and retain staff in their programs that we all need in our communities and we all advocate for. Although this council fought as hard as we could, we were unable to deliver. So I apologize to the nonprofit sector for that. However, we will continue our fight and we will get equity for the human service sector. Despite my extreme disappointment in some of the outcomes of this budget, we did get some wins, and I'm proud of, like the investment in Work, Learn, Grow, restoring food services for seniors, and expanded 3K for our youngest New Yorkers. Thus, in spite of my disappointment, I'm committed to continue to fight for District 16 and the residents of all New York. And with that, I vote aye. And I have some disclosures. I disclose on the record that the City of New York is funded in this budget we are adopting, and my daughter is a student in that entity, and Columbia Presbyterian is funded in this budget that we are adopting, and my daughter is an employee of that entity. Thank you.
Thank you. Ung.
I vote aye.
Velasquez.
Permission to explain my vote. I am disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that the New York City Department of Environmental Protection is funded in the budget we are adopted, and my spouse is an employee of that entity. Samaritans of New York is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my sibling is a board member of that entity. And that the New York City Department of Housing Preservation and Development is funded in the budget we are adopted, and my sibling is associated with that entity. So those are that. And then I'd like to thank Speaker Adams, Finance Chair Justin Brannon, the Council's Finance Department, my fellow colleagues in the New York City Council Budget Negotiations team and leadership for coming together to pass a budget that reflects our core values of our great city. The budget negotiations are a challenge. I'm proud that my colleagues and I were working to deliver on the needs of people in New York City. We knew this year's budget would be a challenge, and as my colleagues have repeatedly said today, there's a lot of work still to be done. I look forward to continuing our work within the council to deliver not only for New York City, but my home, my District 13. And I vote aye.
Thank you. Vernikov.
I vote aye on all with the exception of M169 and accompanying Resolution 713, and no on Resos 703 and 704. Thank you.
Thank you. Williams.
I am disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that the City University of New York is funded in the budget we are adopting, and I am a student at that entity, and that the Queens Alumni chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated is funded in the budget we are adopting, and I am associated with that organization, and that Mount Moriah AME Church is funded in the budget we are adopting, and I am associated with that organization. And with that, I vote aye.
Thank you. Juan.
Permission to explain my vote?
Go ahead.
I just want to thank the speaker as well as the entire finance team, the BNT colleagues, and my council colleagues at large, because since the executive budget was released, we have stood united and we have fought hard, and I want to give special thanks to even my colleagues holding the line, because we are all in agreement that this is a restorative budget and this is not where we wanted to be. But we fought hard and we were able to fully restore funding for adult literacy at $13.2 million, as well as $4 billion in housing for affordable housing, NYCHA for libraries, arts and culture, and so much more, because we continue to fight. But the fight is not over. As we spent the last year, we know that we'll continue to fight this upcoming year, because the budget is not a static document, but it is fluid, and it's a year-long process where we'll have to continue to do the work legislatively as well as budgetarily to make sure that we're restoring even more funding. And because of these commitments that I have to my district, I'm going to be voting aye to make sure that I'm continuing to deliver, especially for my NYCHAs as well as my nonprofits, to offset costs, especially if I know that there is going to be harm done, to ensure that every single dollar for my district is committed to. The mayoral administration continues to prioritize policing and other carceral systems over critical life-saving services that are paramount to our communities. And because of that, in order to survive and develop, our communities need investments into permanent affordable housing like we have fought for, mental health care like we have fought for, and so much more. So for improving community health and safety, we've prioritized crisis management for $86 million, reducing recidivism and strengthening reentry at 121.1 million, preventing overdose treatment addiction at 14.6 million, which is now baseline, and so much more. And we'll continue to fight, and I just thank everyone for all of their efforts to make sure that we have a budget that will serve as many people as possible. But I know that we have many years ahead, especially with such a tough negotiation with this current administration. Thank you so much. I vote aye on all.
Thank you. Yeager.
I vote aye on all with the exception of M157, M169, Resolution 713, Resolution 703, and Resolution 704. Thank you.
Aviles.
Permission to explain my vote?
Go ahead.
So I'd like to start by commending the speaker for her fight, her incredible grace under unending pressure and an impossible task. My colleagues and council staff who worked tirelessly on this budget, I'm thankful to all of you for fighting on behalf of New Yorkers, and I understand that this is not an easy body of work. This vote is not a reflection of that hard work. I vote no on this mayor's austerity budget that guts services and calls it a win. I vote no on an expense budget and a capital budget in particular that I did not have an opportunity to review since I received it walking into this chamber today. While the council has proudly won restorations for important programs like libraries and CUNY, these programs should have never been on the chopping block to begin with. At a time when New Yorkers are facing inflation, out-of-control costs, and the worst affordability crisis in decades, this mayor has recklessly cut programs and services. This budget maintains deep staffing cuts to those agencies we need the most, while not making any significant investments in low-income housing, mental health, social services, or education. As the chair of public housing, I cannot ignore the $338 million in rental arrears that are on the table. Without relief, it means 77,000 families may face eviction in the midst of a housing and shelter crisis. We are gonna need those $46 million that pays for lawyers. Instead of lifting us up, this mayor chooses to use fear tactics and scarcity arguments to move forward his priorities, like privatizing the health care of our city's retirees or blaming asylum seekers. Ask yourself what is missing from this budget and why. We will soon find out. Apparently, the mayor can't find money to provide school aides with a living wage, pay parity for EMS workers, or more school social workers or guidance counselors, or capital funding for new classrooms, which is desperately being cut. But he finds money for the nearly $1 billion in police overtime, misconduct settlements, and an even more bloated NYPD budget and more school police. This is simply wrong. I look forward to the opportunity to vote yes on a budget that supports people over profit, a budget that invests in quality education for all, that invests in housing as a human right. While this budget is still far from that realization, I remain committed to fighting to get us there for a budget that people deserve.
Thank you,
For these
Councilmember.
reasons, I vote no on this mayor's budget on M141 and M42 and the accompanying resolutions.
Borelli.
Permission to explain?
I will grant it.
Thank you. First, the obligatory disclosures. We are funding the Department of Education, and my wife is a public school teacher. We are funding the Staten Island Youth Soccer League. Both of my children, John and Joe, are players. And we're funding the Great Kills Little League, which my son Joe wasn't very good at, didn't want to play, but John is excelling, and hopefully he sticks with it. We have talked a lot about what this budget cuts and what the mayor failed to deliver on, and yet many of us, almost all of us, have not mentioned the $1.4 billion that's now going towards covering the migrant crisis. And with respect to what the mayor said yesterday, when he was asked what is the off-ramp to this problem, it's clear that there's no answer. And we are facing budget gaps, not just next year, but in the years ahead. And that's going to only get worse if this crisis doesn't end. So I would urge all of my colleagues, whether it be the council members here, the speaker, but also the mayor and the comptroller and the governor, it's time to drop the check on the White House. When Joe Biden finishes his ice cream and the bill comes, we have to be the ones to drop the check on there because this is $1.4 billion that could have been used on the services that we're talking about, that many of which were not able to be funded. To give a comparable, $1.4 billion is almost 3 times the general operating fund of the city of Buffalo. The second largest city in our state, we can run it almost 3 times on what we're spending on this federal problem. The federal government is not asking us to run other federal agencies, so why should we be responsible for running the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency? So I will be voting aye on all with the exception of M169, accompanying Resolution 713, 703, and 704. And I do want to thank all of the staff who worked many, many late hours and put a tremendous amount of work in completing everything from the tedium of doing the budget to doing the negotiation with the mayor. So congratulations and thank you all.
Powers.
I vote aye, and I'm disclosing on the record that Mount Sinai Hospital is funding the budget we're adopting. My mother is an employee of the organization. Congratulations to everyone who worked very, very hard on this budget.
Speaker Adams.
I am disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that Pearls and Ivy Foundation of Queens is funded in the budget we're adopting, and I am associated with that entity. And that Greater Allen AME Cathedral of New York is funded in the budget we are adopting today, and I am associated with that entity as well. Thanking my colleagues for all of their hard work, their sleepless nights, and tireless days in the work on this budget. I proudly stand fast in the wins that we have made in the interest of the people of the city of New York, and I vote aye on all.
Okay, blue dot. I got it. All items on today's general order calendar are adopted by a vote of 50 in the affirmative, 1 negative, and 0 abstentions, with the exception of M169 and Resolution 713, Resolution 703, and Resolution 704, adopted by a vote of 42 in the affirmative, 9 negative, and 0 abstentions. M141 and 142 with accompanying resolutions, adopted by a vote of 39 in the affirmative, 12 negative, and 0 abstentions. And M143 and Resolution 710, adopted by a vote of 47 in the affirmative, 4 negative, and 0 abstentions. Resolution 705, adopted by a vote of 51 in the affirmative, 0 negative, 0 abstentions. And M157, adopted by a vote of 49 in the affirmative, 2 negative, and 0 abstentions. I now formally declare that the Executive Expense Revenue Contract Budget, the Executive Capital Budget, and the Community Development Program for fiscal year 2024, all as modified and all in accordance with the New York City Charter, have been hereby adopted as of 3:05 p.m. on this day, on this 30th day of June 2023. I'll now call on Speaker Adrian Adams to close today's stated meeting.
Thank you, Majority Leader.
Sorry. We have one, I forgot we have to go to general discussion, so apologies. We have 2 people signed up. I believe I only see one of them here. We're going to call on Councilmember Brewer.
Thank you very much. I do want to mention that Richard Raverts died last Sunday at 89 years old. For those of you who knew, he was appointed lieutenant governor under David Patterson, but he never actually ran. But in 1975, he actually saved New York City from financial collapse. In the 1980s, as chair of the MTA, he rejuvenated mass transit. He really built affordable housing at Waterside Plaza. He literally has saved many people in the arts able to perform because they have a home at Manhattan Plaza. He was instrumental in working on the finances of Puerto Rico. Just recently, he was one of the founders of the Five Borough Institute. He has also been working to the day or the moment he died on finding ways to provide more affordable housing using an insurance company. When he was with the Urban Development Corporation, Trump wanted to have a tax abatement at the Grand Hyatt, and he told him to go to hell. He wouldn't do it. And Koch overruled him. This is a man, I know that not all of you know him. I was at the service. I was at the Shiva. This is a man who really changed New York. He was incredibly willing to give ideas and share ideas and reached out to everyone. So we've lost a great, and I just want to make sure you don't forget it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Before I hand it over to Speaker, I just want to add my voice in support of what Councilmember Brewer said. I had the honor and privilege representing Waterside Plaza, where the Lieutenant Governor and Dick Ravitch was the owner and built it, and was a great partner and a great New Yorker. And I hope we have many more New Yorkers just like Dick Ravitch. With that, I'll now hand it over to Speaker Adrian Adams.
Associating myself with the remarks of Councilmember Brewer and the Majority Leader. Thank you, everyone. The stated meeting of June 30th, 2023 is hereby adjourned. You may applaud.
Yeah.